Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of H2O. I am Casey.
And I am Titi. A good day to all our audience from all over the world. Good to see you guys again. How have you been? Hazy, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Titi. How have you been? I love the pink. It's like, we kind of switched the color schemes today, but I love it.
Yeah, I just needed to shout out to all the women and say Happy International Women's Day. And I thought, oh, let me go in pink to get the flow.
Yes, yes, that's so sweet of you, Titi. Happy International Women's Day. It's great. Not only, we should not only celebrate women during International Women's Day, but we should celebrate women every day. But
Yeah.
this month is just like a very, very special month for women. And also, speaking of this month, it also brings us closer to the UN Water Conference, which is happening in about 1 to 2 weeks. Are you excited?
Yeah, it's less than 12 days to go. How mind blowing. That's correct, Casey. And I want to use this opportunity to say a big congratulations to all accredited youth preparing to attend this conference. A big congratulations to you. This is like a dream come true for you to be accredited and to be part of this history in making. Good to see you all and welcome again to the show.
Definitely a big congratulations to everyone who also, did all the work behind the scenes, and definitely excited to see everyone at the UN Water Conference, hear all the cool stuff everyone is doing about water, and definitely let our actions flow for tomorrow, like what we always say in Unify.
Yeah, let our actions flow for tomorrow. And speaking of actions, any particular action or event you want to tell us about today? Because knowing you, Keziah, I know you always have something special for us every episode. So tell us today, what do you have for us?
I do have something very, very special, TT, but I
Mhm.
think our guest today will do the honor of telling us what she is doing to
Okay.
spread water and climate action globally. So, our
Oh.
special guest for today is Mina Guli from Melbourne,
Ooh.
Australia. She is the
Oh.
CEO and founder of Thirst Foundation. Mina is a global leader committed to protecting the world's water resources. Following a successful a 15-year career in law, finance, and climate change, in 2022, Mina established Thirst Foundation, a nonprofit changing the way we think about water. To bring attention to the global water crisis in 2016, Mina ran across 7 deserts on 7 continents in just 7 weeks. A self confessed non runner en route, Mina interviewed water experts, telling the stories of people affected by the crisis and those working to solve it. In 2017, Mina ran in support of UN SDG 6, completing 40 marathons in 40 days down 6 of the world's greatest rivers on 6 continents. With media coverage around the world, including CNN, BBC, ITV, ABC, and CCTV, Mina's messages about water reached more than 4 billion people, inspiring a
Wow.
generation of water heroes. Concerned about the pace of change in 2018, Mina started hashtag Running Day, a campaign involving her running 100 marathons in 100 days for one reason: to make saving water so famous. It's not just the right thing to do, but the only thing to do. After breaking her leg at Marathon 62, thousands of people in over 50 countries and territories rallied in support, together running farther than from the North to the South Poles and building hashtag running dry into a movement for change. In 2010, she was recognized as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum, and in 2011, named as one of Australia's 50 for the future. Mina sits on the board of the Antarctic Science Foundation, the Global Water Partnership, and the Academy of 1 Million Global Teachers Prize. Titi. Oh my gosh, this she
Oh,
is so inspiring. Help me welcome Mina.
wow, wow, wow. All I can just say is wow.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
believe that's a lot of miracles?
I'm short of words right now. It's like we have a legend in the house, and to see how much she's done and achieved in such a, with persistence and determination. Oh, I'm so excited. We are having just before the week of the water conference. This is amazing. Thank you, Keziah.
Yeah, definitely. Help me welcome her. Mina Guli. I'm definitely. Hi, how are you?
Hello, it's really great to be on the show. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And what an amazing introduction. I think it's like makes me seem great. Like, don't feel great right now, just saying.
Yeah.
I don't feel great because I've run a whole lot of miles. I think I've run about 28 kilometers this morning. I'm in the middle of
Oh,
running a marathon. So thank you for joining me and taking my mind off my miles.
Oh no,
oh,
thank you
what
for
a great
being
way.
here with us. We are honored to have you here. I know you are most of the time running, and we even met you at Sharm el Sheikh. You were also running, and what you're doing is just amazing.
Yeah, I've been running the whole year actually. It's funny because people like you meet me and you go, "Oh, yeah, you must spend most of your time running." But the reality is, I spend most of my time running and recovering. Yes, that's a big part of it, but the vast majority is actually going and talking to water heroes, young people just like you, old people, people, water experts, people working to solve this global water crisis, and really doing so at the front lines of the problem. So whether it's hiking high up into the glaciers in Tajikistan and talking to people about how they've lost 1,000 glaciers, crazy numbers, or whether it's going to the Dead Sea and talking to the experts about how the Dead Sea is just shrinking like crazy, whether it's running across dead lakes and rivers and understanding from some of the farmers and communities there what it means to see these water resources just disappear before their eyes. Like, this is what I spend my time doing. This is what I'm passionate about. And you were talking about getting excited about the UN's water conference coming up. I'm
Yeah.
also excited. I'm a little bit scared about it, but I am really excited.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mina. You. I like the fact that you started talking about your passion, and the one thing that actually surprises me about you is the fact that you just don't talk. You walk the talk. A lot of people comes and give us data of what is wrong with the head, what is wrong with the climate, what is wrong with water, but we don't have people doing anything about it. And I'm so glad that we have you on board just a week before the water conference, and you are doing something great about it. And let me start because our audience here, some of them are not really familiar with you. Can you please just tell us what is Test Foundation and what projects and activities are being carried out so far?
Yeah, just before I answer that, I just want to comment on one of the things you just said, which is um, it's I think it's really easy, especially when you're young, to think I'm not an expert, I don't know the numbers and the facts. I think it's really easy to think I'm just a young person, no one's going to listen to me. But here is the truth. The water crisis is about far more than numbers on a page. Let the experts talk about those numbers. Don't try to be something we're not. Like, we need to be authentic and true to who we
Yeah,
are and our own abilities and our unique selling point. And the unique selling point of every single one of us is our own personal stories and
yeah,
connection with water. We all have them. So tell those stories. Don't rely on numbers and statistics and resources that you've read in a book or you've seen in the newspaper. Talk about it in real stories with real examples. And I think one of the most important things that we're doing through this running campaign is lifting up the voices of people, because for too long we have been sidelined. You have been sidelined when we're talking about these UN conversations. You were saying congratulations to all the youth that have been accredited. We shouldn't need to congratulate people. It should just be taken for granted that
yeah,
everybody gets a voice there. And I think it's really important that everybody that's coming, but not only those that are coming, those that are also able to get online and share their stories, do so, because we need to move our stories into the halls of power, into those conversations, because it's only when we translate numbers into real stories that we'll get to actually start to touch the hearts and minds of people in those rooms. I can't tell you how many times I've been to these conversations and it's all a bit blah, 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 like,
Yeah.
conversations and, the 3-minute presentations. Those of you who haven't been will see, like, it's just the most remarkable kind of series of press the button, make a speech that's been written down and like authorized by about 14 different people, and then press the button and that's done. And then they move on to the next one. That's not stories. That's not life. And that's not going to impact the lives of billions of people on the planet that are out there. So somehow we need to find a way, not only for our voices to get in the room, but for our voices to be heard. And I think the way to do that is by speaking from the heart, being authentic, and sharing personal stories and interactions that you've had. So that's just an aside. So what is thirst? Actually, that gets to the core of what thirst is. So our goal is to create radical, out of the box, mind-blowing campaigns that really shake the conversation on water and try to push water to the top of the agenda. I'm really frustrated that for so many years water has been absolutely critical and yet we don't talk about it. Climate change, deforestation makes front page news, but we're losing our wetlands like 3 times faster than our rainforest. We need to figure out how to put water onto the agenda, and that's what Thirst Foundation is doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And that takes us to the next question. And when you started, you spoke about running. You spoke about, when I see you and you're running, I begin to question how would I really feel like I am. Because if you're still running, I don't know what I'm doing. But then you elaborate. Could you please elaborate on the Global Run Blue movement leading up to the UN 2023 Water Conference? Because you said you were actually you were actually coming from a run to join the show.
Yes. So I'm currently running marathon number 192. Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
Isaiah, we need to eat to the gym.
So it's even worse because I actually never grew up running. I was a fat little kid in the corner, never picked for sports teams. And I actually find running really hard and don't like it all that much. I really hate to confess that because it just makes me sound like the craziest person in the world to be like, yeah, I've run 192 marathons. Well, 191 and a half or 3/4 because I'm at the 20.
Only in
You're
1
about
year
to
So, but so the purpose of, so why am I running? Okay, I'm running because I want to do 3 things. I want to raise awareness about the global water crisis. I was having a conversation with one of the women that run the Nevada Water Authority. They've got huge problems here in Nevada. You've probably seen the pictures of Lake Mead at incredibly historically low levels, and it's causing a lot of challenges for the management of the Colorado River, amongst others. So we were speaking to her and she said one of our greatest challenges is getting people to be aware that we actually have a water problem. Because until people know there's a problem, they can't either understand what the solution is or become part of the solution. So first issue that I want to do is raise awareness of this water crisis right around the world. The second thing I want to do is to demonstrate the urgency of the problem that we're facing, that water is not a problem that can just be cast aside or can be pushed down the list of priorities and dealt with later. We need to solve our water problem today. And the third thing is to drive action, because the most important and critical thing out of this entire process, out of the UN summit, out of all of this, is not the talking, it's the doing. And so I want to drive action from governments who have the capacity to set the agenda, action from companies who represent 90% of global freshwater use, either directly or indirectly, and ultimately action from all of us. It doesn't mean you've got to go and run 200 marathons, but it does mean that we also, especially the youth of the world, need to not just turn up to conversations to talk, but to actually commit the kind of action that you're asking from companies and from governments. We need to also accept that we need to be part of that too. We need to take our own action and we need to make our own commitments. My commitment is to run 200 marathons this year in the lead up to this conference that we're having. I wanted to go to the front lines. I wanted to go and literally, with my feet and my heart and my mind, meet the people that are suffering from this global problem and also working to solve it, to lift up their voices and to put them into the forum where they can be heard. And hopefully, by being heard, they can galvanize change and action.
Oh,
Wow. If I can think about one bold action towards water awareness, it would be you running these marathons, because not only are you spreading awareness, inspiring action, walking the talking, but you're also giving people who don't have a voices a platform to amplify, what they're experiencing in different parts of the world, which I really, really admire. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that, you run in different countries, regions, especially water stressed areas, and you hear the stories of people, actually talk to them on what their situation is. We also want to get your perspective, having this global perspective, not only on the top down, but also the down up approach in, like, how can we solve this water issue? What role do you see young people play in regards to protecting their water resources?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that young people, so two things. I think that the youth of today have a really critical role to play in galvanizing change, but
yeah.
also in encouraging people to think out of the box. There's some things that I think you can't do. There are many things I can't do. Some of those are, sitting in government or sitting in boardrooms and actually being the ones that make the decision. You can't do that. What you can do is to lift up the voices of people, to come prepared to have a conversation, to poke around the edges and ask questions in those forums and say, is this really the best you can do? Because I
Yeah.
can tell you a couple of things. The first is, we're not doing the best we can do right now.
No.
Problem number one. Problem number two, we're actually not working together. And one of
No.
the genius things about Unify is the way you are bringing companies, people, young people from companies, from governments, you're bringing people together from literally across the world. This is absolutely key. So the second thing I think you guys can do is to encourage collaboration. So a collaboration that is unusual, getting people to reach across traditional boundaries, across the silos that have been created in this water space. That's the power of youth, because you do that already. So you already set that example. Now we need governments and we need companies to do the same thing. So that's the second thing. And I think the third thing is something I'm extremely passionate about, which is we need to drive these governments, these companies, these leaders to understand that we can do the hard things that are needed to solve this global water crisis. There is this reticence to make change because change is hard, but we can do that. Like, if I can run 200 marathons, I'm not a runner, and I can run up in glaciers, across sands. I can do it when I'm sick. I can do it when I'm injured. We can do anything, including stepping up and solving this global water crisis. So what do I think? I could make a whole lot of like examples of, yes, you can innovate, you can do this, you can do that. But in the next 2 weeks, the things that you can do are lift up your voices, use social media, prod around the edges, ask those questions. Is this the best you can do? Why can't we do more? And what would happen if we did do more? And we can do these hard things. We can go bigger and bolder, and we can solve this global water crisis. And to sit in those rooms and not accept no for an answer, but to sit in those rooms and ask the questions, why? How can we do more? What can we do? Because I think that we need to approach these conversations over the next couple of weeks as a real opportunity for change. We need to move the business leaders and the decision makers to help protect our water resources for the future.
Wow. Wow, that was very inspiring. To those of you who are listening to us live, definitely take note of those. Raise your voices and ask the difficult questions, and never take no for an answer. Moving on to our next question. Understanding that you have worked with children and youth through providing innovation competitions, could you give us an example of a creative solution a youth has developed to protect water resources within his or her community?
Yeah, so there are so many examples of ideas and solutions, but I think it's sometimes really tempting when you are coming up with an idea to think, oh my goodness, is this groundbreaking enough? Is it big enough? I have a personal philosophy: go big or go home. But going big
Yeah.
or going home doesn't mean you have to go big straight away. Just small steps can make big change happen. I think about running a marathon. I don't, like, this morning when I set out to run my marathon, I didn't set out to run 42.2 kilometers. I set out to take one step and another one
Yeah.
and another one. And I think it's really important when we're thinking about innovating or creating change that we understand that it's piece by piece, step by step. So I can talk to you about like the amazing technologies and things that I've seen, but what I really want to do is to tell you that one of the most impressive solutions that I saw was some guys in we're in China, and a lot of people have these water coolers in their homes, and a lot of the water cooler leak. If you put your bottle underneath it, you finish filling it, it overflows into a little tank. And what they did is they figured out how to recycle the water from the tank, how to slope it. They sloped the tank down, they put it into a little system, and they created a little process to actually help to water the
You
plant. So why am I talking about that? Because small steps make big change happen, and every drop counts. And when we start to look at things like that and we start to look at it and think, okay, maybe this is just one water cooler that we've solved, but imagine if we could solve all the water coolers across the world. And then imagine if we could do it, if we could start to think about how we can also accumulate wastewater from other places. We think, how I'm just one person. What can I do make a difference?
Yeah.
But when I started in the desert running, I was just one person. Now we have a movement of people in over 197 countries and territories, thousands and thousands of people right across the world stepping up for water. When you have an idea, you never know where that idea is going to take you. You never know the impact that it's going to have. So the first thing you must do is take that step. Believe. Doesn't matter who I am or where I've come from. I can do this. Step up and actually make a difference, because every single step, every single drop counts for something.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You kind of reminded me of my favorite motivation speech that says that if I want to see change, I start with the person in the mirror. That's me. So you said it all, that we should start with ourselves, and the journey of 1,000 miles start with one step. So start where you are. As a youth, you've heard it from me. Start where you are. Do the little things you have to do to make the changes, and then every other thing. It's like a ripple effect. When you take that first step, every other effect comes together, and you see your action in a larger way. And that is so, so amazing. Thank you so much, Gina. That's, as in, all our audience have been commenting, saying inspiring, great. They really, you have a lot of questions anyway to answer. But guys, we need time. We need to go on a 30-second advert to give our guest speaker like some seconds to just catch your breath and get your questions ready, because when we come back, we'll be asking questions live and direct, and she will be here to answer every question you have. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll see you after this advert. See you soon. Hello, welcome back. Welcome to everyone. So we have question from, I think we have from Favor, and then okay. So it says, how can we start our own Run Blue here in Nigeria? Now you have a lot of mentees. They need people to get to know, like, be aware of the urgency for clean water and sanitation. So over to you, Mina.
Yes, I'm very keen to get people running blue everywhere around the world. So, first thing is, anyone who's listening, watching, participating in this, please sign up to participate in our World Water Run. It's a virtual run. You can run anywhere. There are some groups. So we've got a bunch of country captains around the world that are organizing some in-person events. So we're really excited about that. So please, if you sign up, it's worldwaterrun.org. So you can go and have a look, or it's also, we've got worldwaterrun.com because, why not? And just go, if you go online or you go to any of my social feeds, I'm Mina Guli, Minaguli, on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you can find the links there. So it's free to participate, free to sign up. You just go online, it takes about 2 seconds, and then you can start. That will then also help to allow us to know who you are and connect with you, and then we can also talk to you about how you can start, in this case in Nigeria, Run Blue, because that'd be really awesome. I'd absolutely love it. Also, anyone who wants to, please feel free to direct message me on any of the platforms. I love hearing from people. I love talking about water, as you can tell, because I've basically not stopped talking this entire time. Sorry, Titi and Cassie, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm always happy to reach out to people, and I will be
It's
in New
okay.
York. Yeah, I will be in New York, and we will be running in New York. So if anyone's there, I would absolutely love to run with you. I will be on my 200th marathon, so I'll be running very, very slowly. So anybody who wants to come, please don't feel like, I'm not a runner, because that's me. I'm not a runner. I hate it. We all talked about that. But I would love to see you and talk about water and talk about who you are. And yeah, just meet. It'd be great.
All right. Thank you so much. So, guys, you heard it here. If you're gonna be in the New York live, join us. I'm signing up. I'm actually preparing myself mentally for the marathon right now.
One fact is actually before we sent our invitation, for this for H2O, I actually sent a printing thing because for the T-shirt, because TT doesn't know this, but TT and I are going to run with you in New York. And we're gonna wear the exact same shirt as you're wearing right now. So we'll see.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. Oh, you just made my day. You made my day. Oh, so happy. Okay. So we have to do like some kind of pictures or live thing, and we have to take
Okay. All right,
photos and
guys.
share it with
See?
everybody watching.
That's why I love this show. We get to hang out with the main people. Oh, guys, so you heard it. If you're in the New York, please join us. So that takes us to the next question. It says, I have a question. How can we communicate with community to change their behavior regarding water resources and usage? This is coming from Mahmoud.
Well, I guess I'd be interested in your thoughts about this, and maybe this is something we can brainstorm a bit more when we're in New York, because I think that we have traditionally done a really bad job of doing this. When I started running, I thought, oh, the awareness thing will be really easy, and then we'll just move on to urgency and action. But every single official and person that I've met has said to me, we have a problem with awareness. People just don't know that we have a water problem. And when we don't know, we can't change, right? And so we talked about at the beginning of this conversation. So I think that I can tell you what I'm doing, which is running a ridiculous number of marathons. I'm running because one of the reasons is because I want to grab the media attention. I want to get people to be aware that we have a problem, but people don't want to talk about water. And I think one of our challenges is that people just think it comes out of a tap. Most of us live in big cities. Water comes out of a tap. It's somebody else's challenge to solve. So I think we have a huge problem in PR and comms around getting people to understand that there is a problem. And the more I've run, the more I've realized that it's an issue. And the more I've run, the more I've realized that actually maybe what we need to do is to all come together and brainstorm some solutions and come up with like a global PR campaign for water, where we're like, water is effectively our client, and we figure out how to talk about it. So if any of you want to talk to me about how we can come up with some kind of solution or some kind of campaign around this, I would be really keen to do so, because I think we need to do it differently. I think, I've seen so many different PR media campaigns to try to get people to change their behavior. None of them have worked, obviously, because we have a crisis. If it worked, we wouldn't be in this situation. So please direct message me, and we can figure this out together.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do you have anything to say, Kazaya, before I go move to my favorite segment of the section?
Honestly, I'm not going to delay it any further, TT. I know this is your favorite session, and this is also my favorite session. And hopefully, Mina, by the end of this segment, this will also be your favorite section. Over to
Mm.
you, TT.
Thanks, Keziah. So I know you see that I'm excited, but let me explain why I'm excited. So we have this 60-second segment where we get to ask our special guest in the house any question, any question. But in this format, for example, I say Halloween or Christmas. So you go Halloween or Christmas. You pick your favorite. But it's our 60 seconds of getting to know you beyond the Mina who runs. We know you for who you are. So are you ready for this section? Yeah.
I'm ready.
It's time
Born,
for
born
waterfall.
ready. Born ready for waterfalls.
Yeah, the session section is called waterfall. So basically, we ask you two options, and you choose which one resonates with you the most. So go
Bring
on,
it on.
TT. Let's start the
Yeah.
timer.
Are you ready?
Go.
Guys, your 60 seconds start now. Instagram or Twitter?
Insta.
Calling or texting?
Texting.
Lose sleep or skip a meal?
Skip a meal every day.
Pancake or
Don't tell
waffles?
my team because I get really in big trouble for that one. Big trouble all the time. Shh.
Pancake or waffles?
Pancake.
Dogs or cats?
Cats every day.
Success or happiness?
Success.
Mhm.
We've got to solve the water
Advocacy,
crisis. Without water, we have no happiness. So it's got to be success.
advocacy or research?
Advocacy every day.
Guitar or piano?
Piano.
Drawing or painting?
I'm bad at both. Drawing.
Train or bus?
A train. You can talk to more
Rose,
people.
roses or sunflowers?
Sunflowers make me happy.
Spring or fall?
Spring opportunity.
Android or iOS?
iOS.
Ah, you see, our question is all about people. She likes boss because she meets people. She shows success because then she can be happy because she's just advocacy. She's just all about the people. Oh, thank you so much, Rita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I have one question I really want to ask. It's just personal. To love or to be loved? Mm-hmm.
Love.
Oh, all right.
Every day. Because if
Yeah.
you love others, they'll love you back.
Did you
You have
hear
to
Each
that,
give.
verse
Kirsty?
before.
We live in a community where we must give to others.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
I see that every day that
yeah,
we in environments where we are giving to look at Unify. You give so much of yourselves to the organization and it gives it back. You give of yourselves to all of the people there. You give support and they support you back. So
yeah.
it's actually about giving, not getting, because when you give, you get.
That's true. Oh, when you give, you get. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so over to you, Keziah.
Before wrapping, I know that was quite a lot. I think we need to, if this was a marathon, we need a break. So we're gonna take a very quick 30-second break to give you some time to breathe before we reflect on the session, before we do the wrap up. So
Yeah.
see you in 30 seconds.
Unified hand in hand, we sing an anthem of hope, an anthem of peace. Our voice tomorrow sustains, leading the change our world needs to see, the change we shall be. Oh, 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 oh.
Now that the break is over, time to run the session again. So, welcome back, everyone. So, Mina, first of all, thank you so much for being here with us. I know that you are in the middle of a run, and we are so honored to have you here to learn from you, and of course to hear about something that we have to look forward to, which is completing your 200th marathon in 1 year in New York, which is quite exciting and very grand. So we'll definitely, Titi and I will be there with you. But in 3 words, describe the session or describe you in general.
In 3 words, describe the session. So you just cut out.
Yeah. Yeah. Describe the session of, or what's 3 words that you would like our audience to take home with?
Okay, so I think that the 3 words to take home and to think about over the next 2 weeks are purpose, focusing on why we do what we do, because things never go the way we want. That we always, over 200 marathons, I've been injured. I have been on my hands and knees beside the road, sick with gastro. I've had heat exhaustion. I've had COVID. There have been so many times when I've had an opportunity to stop and give up, but I haven't. And the reason is because I have my purpose. I know what I'm doing and I know why I'm doing it and know what I'm fighting for. And it gives me something to wake up to in the morning. So, purpose. The second is passion, having a real passion for what we do and a willingness to go the extra mile to make that happen. I think that it is really important for all of us to say it's not just okay to have purpose. We need purpose and we need passion, but both of those things don't achieve what we need to. We need the final one, which is perseverance. So we need to be prepared to stand up and to keep going. So I think that if I only get 3 words, they would probably be purpose, passion, and perseverance.
Thank you so much. That is well said, because you couldn't have done what you're doing if you didn't persevere. It's easy to have purpose. A lot of youth have purpose. A lot of us have passion, but what we are lacking is perseverance. So we start very well. We're shouting. We are everywhere, but we cannot sustain it, and that is where we lose out on, success as a story itself. So thank you so much. So guys, you heard it here: purpose, passion, and perseverance. I will call this the 3 P's, Gina's 3 P's. So do not forget that. All right. Okay.
I mean, I think like just on that, there are so many other words like inspiration, which just gets used a lot and bandied around a lot. And it's, what is inspiration? How can we be inspiring? How can we look for inspiration? I think inspiration comes from within us. It doesn't come from outside. I think inspiration doesn't just come from writing little things on a wall that you read every day. You've got to find the inspiration within your heart and within your soul. There are other things like, it's motivation, but it's not just motivation, it's discipline. We need to be disciplined. We need to
Yes.
have that perseverance to be able to
Yeah.
step up and keep going even when we don't want to, and that's driven by our purpose. So I
Yeah.
think that, I was thinking really carefully when I was out running this morning, like, how would I frame this in a way that really encapsulates all of that into
Okay.
3 words that we can remember when things get tough.
Yeah.
And when we really, there will be moments, and there'll be a lot of moments over the next couple of weeks. I said to you, how am I feeling about the UN conference? I'm
Yeah.
feeling excited, but I'm also feeling a little scared, to be really
Yeah.
honest, because I'm scared that we won't get the answers that we want. I'm scared that the business leaders, the government leaders won't step up and make the change and the commitments that we want. I'm scared that some of them might not even turn up. And I think that we need to be real about that, and we need to recognize that there will be tough moments. But the two things about that is, first of all, we're surrounded by amazing people. We're surrounded by our tribe. You have the unified team. We have a whole lot of people there who are fully committed to seeing and driving that change, even if the people in the chairs on the front stage may not seem to be. So
Yeah.
every time you feel doubt, look around you and say, these people believe we can together make change. And that's really important. So never, ever give up on this. Persevere, be committed, and actually really commit to that change, irrespective of the hard things that are happening around you and irrespective of the hurdles that we have to overcome. And I think that's really important. I think the final thing I would say is it's really easy to get hooked into conversations where we listen to words and the words become our dialogue. This is our story to tell. It's not a story to be consumed by others or written by others. This is our story. Let's write it.
Yeah.
And this is something that I remind myself of every day. Like, I don't have to run, I get to run. Like, I get to do this. I get to go and meet amazing people. I get to go
Yeah.
to New York and sit there with people like all of you guys. I get to have an opportunity to run with you. Yeah, sure, I hate running, but oh my goodness, how exciting is it to actually meet you guys? It's
Yeah.
awesome. So I think that, it's easy for us to look sometimes and get sucked into this. It's all terrible and it's all tough and it's all challenging. And I think we need to be the sunflowers in the room. I picked sunflowers. Sunflowers because they're happy. Sunflowers because they turn to the sun. Sunflowers
Yeah.
because they can generate so much value even when
Yeah.
they're out of their soil. And we
Yeah.
need to remember that we too can be sunflowers, that we can
Uh,
turn to the sun, that we can be that change that we need to see in the world. And I think this is our opportunity to come together and do that. So I'm really looking forward to the summit, and I'm really looking forward to meeting so many of you and joining together, literally, either virtually or in real life in New York, and saying, let's make change together.
Wow, thank you so much, Mina, for those bold words. CTT, you said you don't run, but since we're running together, and if you feel tired, and I'm gonna remind you of the three P's: purpose, passion, perseverance. Purpose, passion, perseverance. Go, TT. Let's go.
no, Titi, keep going, keep going. You can do this, girl. You can do this.
So we will motivate each other. But in any way,
Yeah.
I would like to thank, of course, Mina, for being here. Thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom, your time, and why you are here, and your commitment as well, which means a lot to us. It motivates us even more. Thank you, Unify, Younger Water and Climate Working Group, and the International Water Association, our partners here in H2O. Without you, this wouldn't be a success. And yeah, that is all for today. And see you in 2 weeks. We will definitely be there with you. So
And to all
get some
our
rest.
amazing audience, thank you so much from far and near. Thank you for joining us. And like she said, you can sign up for the Blue Run. Please do go and sign on. It's a virtual one. You can have it from anywhere in the world. Thank you so much. And to our special guest, what do we have to say? Thank you so much. You brought so much energy. You brought fun to it. For the first time in my life, I'm convinced that running can be fun. So thank you. All right, guys, it's bye for us and see you next week and see you in the US. All right, bye, everyone.
Chance to pave the way.